A latest study has revealed that nearly all of the world's glaciers
We are the
losing
first
mass
generation
at an alarming
to feel
pace,
the sting of climate
contributing to
change.
more than a fifth of the global sea
And we
level
are
rise.
the
looking at
last
the
generation to
215,000
do something
International
about
group of
it.
researchers has for the first time observed
Glaciers have always released ice into the ocean, but now this is happening nearly twice as fast as it did 10 years ago. Around the world, ice is now feeding vast amounts of fresh water into the sea, raising sea levels, changing salinity, and disrupting ocean currents.
In Switzerland, glacial runoff powers the country's hydroelectric plants. These plants provide more than half of the country's electricity. As the glaciers melt, it's creating a surplus of hydropower. High up in the Andes Mountains, the glacier runoff supports Peru's population during times of drought.
Antarctica has lost 3 trillion tons of ice over the last 25 years. Half of that has been in the last 5. But it's what could happen next that really alarms scientists.
About 4 seasons worth. But
Joanne Johnson is just back from Thwaites Glacier, an expanse of ice the size of Britain that many fear is about to undergo a catastrophic melt.
I've been coming here since 2002, quite a long time.
The whole of the West Antarctic ice shelf could follow, a region so vast that it would add more than 3 meters to global sea levels.
At least 1/3 of these glaciers will melt by the end of the century. And if emissions continue on their current path, another third will disappear. The extreme runoff will flood rivers all over Asia, destroy crops, and cause massive landslides. The melting will devastate the planet's most populous continent.
These researchers have found that the island's population of chinstrap penguins, named for the black line beneath their beaks, has plummeted by more than 60% since the last big survey 50 years ago. Chinstrap numbers have dropped across the region as temperatures have soared by more than 5 degrees over 5 decades.
By 2100, half of the world's glaciers are expected to vanish.
These are columns of mud lifted from the Antarctic seabed. They contain DNA signatures of life in the sea at the time, and the deeper in the mud they're buried, the further back they go. It's environmental history.
This man-made ice grotto is a popular tourist destination, but the glacier is retreating each year. So for the past 20 years or so, the glacier has been covered in fabric to limit the melting.
It looks like this, and it's porous on this side and a bit more hardcore on this side, and contains of rough wool that is not needed for making clothes. and also cornstarch. And it's very strong and durable. And it hinders the sun, the UV radiation, and it also isolates from warm air. And the third thing is that it isolates from sublimation. You know, sometimes ice and snow can convert directly to gas, to water vapor, and it hinders that. So the three processes that it hinders, so it's very efficient.